Why is Zoro considered the Straw Hat Pirates' vice captain? When the strong enemies, Luffy is always the first to step forward, but even a captain can fail. When that happens, Zoro is the one who can stand on his own, backed by overwhelming strength. However, strength alone is not enough. To define a vice captain, what truly matters is his willingness to risk everything for his captain. Before the crew became recognized as a rising force, they faced Bartholomew Kuma, one of the 7 warlords. Luffy had already reached his limit. Zoro was the first to step up and face Kuma, but a single attack was enough to show him victory was impossible. Facing an opponent he could not defeat, Zoro made a different choice. He knelt down and asked Kuma to spare Luffy, offering his own life in exchange. Kuma allowed Zoro to take on a fraction of the pain Luffy would have suffered. Even that small fraction pushed Zoro's body to its limit, as if his organs were about to collapse. The damage was severe enough to threaten his life, yet Zoro never took back his words. He stood by his decision without regret. After the crisis, Zoro was left covered in injuries. When Sanji arrived and asked what had happened, this quiet resolve and willingness to sacrifice himself that make him worthy of being the Straw Hat's vice captain. So what do you think? If the Straw Hat Pirates ever appoint an official vice captain, would that role belong to Zoro?
Why is Mr. One such a massively underrated fighter in One Piece? Most people only remember that Mr. One was the number 2 of Baroque Works, a subordinate of Crocodile, but they forget how powerful his Devil Fruit really is. His power is built for pure offense. It lets Mr. One turn any part of his body into a blade. His skin becomes as hard as steel. Normal weapons can't even break through. Every strike he throws hits like a sword slash. He's not just a fighter, he's a living weapon. When he first appeared, he pushed Zoro to the brink. Zoro had no choice but to level up mid-fight, learning how to cut steel just to barely win. That kind of extreme offense is rare in the entire series. Very few characters have that level of cutting power. Even Dracula Mihawk's reaction proves how strong he is. During the Marineford War, Mr. One stepped in to protect Monkey D. Luffy and took Mihawk's attack head on. Yes, he went down instantly, but even then, Mihawk still remembered his name. That's recognition from the very top tier. From Baroque Works to the Impel Down breakout, to fighting side by side in the war and later forming the Cross Guild together, Crocodile's trust in Mr. One never changed. And that trust is proof of his strength. Mr. One doesn't have a huge bounty. He doesn't have flashy headline moments. But through pure ability, he earned respect from real powerhouses. So here's the real question. If Mr. One learned armament hockey, how strong could he really become? Why does Zoro want to become the world's greatest swordsman? When he was young, Zoro was proud. He walked into the dojo ready to challenge the master. He faced the master's daughter, Kuina, and he couldn't even block a single move. Then came the rematches. 2,000 defeats. But Zoro didn't break. It became an obsession. He cultivated with all his might, day and night, swing after swing. He believed one thing: work hard enough and you can surpass anyone. But Kuina was fighting something deeper than defeat. Her dream wasn't limited by skill. It was limited by reality.
女の子では世界一強くなることはできません。
That night, under the moon, Zoro picked up a real blade and challenged her again, for the 2001st time. The same. He lost. After the fight, Kuina told him everything. Her fear, her doubt, her limits. Zoro didn't understand. To him, she is even an insult. That night, they made a promise. One of them would become the greatest swordsman in the world. Yet fate played a cruel joke. Not long after, Kuina died in an accident. Her dream ended. But for Zoro, it never did. That loss became a wound that would never heal. He knelt in front of his master, his voice shaking.
先生、その刀、俺にくれよ。
クイナの刀を？
俺はあいつの分も強くなるから。天国まで俺の名が届くように強くなるから。 世界一強い剣豪になるからさ。
What Zoro inherited wasn't just a blade, it was a promise, a dream that could never be fulfilled. In his unique three-sword style, that blade he forever holds in his mouth. It's not just a weapon, it's his vow. It's Kuina's dream held between his teeth, bound together, in life and in death. What do you think? How strong does Zoro need to become to truly be called the world's greatest swordsman? Why Zoro makes people feel the safest?
ゾロ、1分頼む。
ああ、任せろ。これからやるのが俺の見解。通じねえ時は死ぬ時だ。おい、カイドウ！そいつはうちの船長だ。まずはこっちの頭を先に潰してもらおうか。
Zoro boards the ship. Unlike the other crewmates, his story holds no twists or turns, but he is the one who protects Luffy's role as captain more than anyone else. Zoro isn't just loyal, he's the anchor of the entire crew. When things fall apart, he's the one who holds everything together. Back in Water 7, Usopp argued with Luffy over the fates of the Going Merry, then left the crew in anger. Later, he wanted to come back like nothing happened. Everyone was ready to forgive him. Everyone except Zoro. Zoro stepped forward and drew a hard line. Listen up, no matter how foolish he acts, he's still our captain. We have no need for a guy who won't even listen to the captain when it matters most. A crew where even the captain commands no authority is bound to fall apart. Do you think leaving a crew is something that easy? That moment. That's Zoro's greatest charm. His greatest strength isn't just his swordsmanship and a handsome appearance. It's his conviction. Always clear on what matters. That's why he feels safe, because when everything goes wrong, he won't hesitate. So here's the real question. What was the moment that made you become a Zoro fan?
Why didn't Cursed Blade Sandai Kitetsu kill Zoro? Legend says the Kitetsu swords carry a dark will of their own. They drain their wielder's life, twist their mind, and crave blood. If they go too long without it, they turn on their owner. Some don't survive it. Back in Log Town, when Zoro found the Sandai Kitetsu, the shop owner refused to sell it. He warned him, every previous owner died a tragic death, and the blade hadn't tasted blood in years. So the moment Zoro picked it up, he should have felt something was wrong. But instead of fear, Zoro felt excitement. He tossed the blade into the air, testing his luck, and something strange happened. The sword didn't cut him. It slipped past his arm, as if it chose not to strike. From that moment on, Zoro claimed the blade. The shopkeeper was won over by Zoro and gifted him his treasured Yubashiri as well. In battle after battle, he kept cutting down enemies, feeding the sword without even trying. Every injury he took gave the blade more of what it wanted. And more importantly, Zoro's own demonic aura matched the blade's nature perfectly. Little by little, the cursed will faded. The sword stopped resisting. Instead, it obeyed. So here's the real question. As Zoro grows stronger, will he replace Sandai Kitetsu with a better blade? Why is Zoro considered the Straw Hat Pirates' vice captain? When the strong enemies, Luffy is always the first to step forward, but even a captain can fail. When that happens, Zoro is the one who can stand on his own, backed by overwhelming strength. However, strength alone is not enough. To define a vice captain, what truly matters is his willingness to risk everything for his captain.
そいつはうちの船長だ。まずはこっちの頭を。
Why Zoro awakened Conqueror's Haki? Having Conqueror's Haki means someone has a rare, kingly spirit. It is a natural talent found in only a few people. It shows the will to stand above others and lead with power. Zoro was Luffy's first crewmate. He is widely seen as the crew's vice captain and one of its strongest fighters. During the battle on Onigashima in Wano, Zoro fully awakened Conqueror's Haki. He defeated King, the strongest of Kaido's 3 top commanders, and stepped into the ranks of true monsters. But this power did not appear from nowhere. It was built through Zoro's life, from a young swordsman in the East Blue to someone chasing the top of the world. After Kuina passed away, their promise to become the world's greatest swordsman was no longer just a personal dream. It became a promise between life and loss. Even when he faced Mihawk, a swordsman far beyond him, Zoro still drew his blade. That was his belief in the way of the sword. On Thriller Bark, Zoro took in all of Luffy's pain and exhaustion alone. He stood there badly wounded, but said nothing. On Onigashima, Zoro used his own body to block the combined attack from 2 emperors, just to give his crew a small chance to live. To protect his beliefs and his friends, Zoro is willing to put aside his own life and dream. That all-in spirit is the strongest proof of his conqueror's haki. It is also the core reason he can break past his limits and awaken the power of a king. So what level do you think Zoro must reach to become the world's greatest swordsman? Why doesn't Shanks eat devil fruits? Shanks seems strongly against devil fruits. None of his crew members are ability users. Even when Luffy accidentally ate the Nika fruit, Shanks reacted with clear concern, almost like he knew how serious it was. Even after losing an arm to save Luffy, he never tried to replace it, despite the fact that some abilities could restore a limb. Unlike Blackbeard, he doesn't hunt for powerful devil fruits across the New World. Shanks already has top-tier haki and elite sword skills. Eating a devil fruit could make him even stronger, but he still refuses. This mindset feels similar to the Celestial Dragons. They also avoid using devil fruits themselves. Even the rare, powerful ones are often treated as rewards for others. This may connect to a deeper truth revealed by Vegapunk. There are hints that global sea levels have been rising rapidly, and that the world could one day be submerged. If that happens, devil fruit users would be at a huge disadvantage. Information like this is tightly controlled by the highest authorities. Only the Celestial Dragons know the truth. This also explains why they invariably wear diving suits whenever they venture out, and why Shanks chooses not to rely on devil fruits at all. Some theories even suggest he has insider knowledge about the world's future, so avoiding these powers might be a way to stay ready for what's coming. So what do you think? If the world really sinks underwater, how could Luffy still become king of the pirates?
Why does Shanks look more like a villain now? In many fans' hearts, Shanks has always been the gentle mentor figure. He was there during Luffy's childhood. He gave up one arm to save Luffy. He usually drinks, laughs, and messes around with his crew. At Marineford, he appeared to stop the war. And with Buggy, he often feels more like an old friend than a dangerous emperor. Over time, many fans started to think Shanks was calm, kind, and maybe the least threatening of the four emperors. But anyone who can sit on an emperor's throne is never harmless. Looking at the past emperors, none of them were simple, good people. Kaido ruled Wano for years. He used its people, built weapon factories, and turned the country into a broken land. Big Mom was also selfish and terrifying. At her tea party, one small mistake could make everything fall apart. When she lost control, even her own children were not always safe. Blackbeard is even darker. He betrayed Whitebeard, turned on people who trusted him, and will do anything for his ambition. And Shanks may be the one hiding the deepest. When Kid challenged him, Shanks ended the fight with one strike. Kid's crew completely broke down. They thought handing over the road poneglyphs would be enough to survive. But Shanks left no room for mercy. He let the whole ship be taken out. No second chance. Why was Loki defeated by Shanks? Prince Loki of Elbaf was born with the bloodline of the ancient giants. His body is said to be 3 times larger than a normal giant's. He also has top-tier haki in all 3 forms. On top of that, he ate the giant's special fruit, the dragon fruit, mythical Zoan model, Nidhogg. He also carries the hammer Tile, a weapon that may have its own mythical Zoan power. His strength was far beyond many young legends. Even Emu seemed wary of him. But 6 years ago, Shanks still defeated him and locked him beneath the Atom Tree in Elbaf. In bloodline, size, and fruit power, Loki looks far above Shanks. But Shanks won with only 3 things: ultimate haki, top-tier swordsmanship, and the heart of a king who depends on nothing else. After losing his left arm while saving Luffy in Windmill Village, Shanks did not choose to rely on a devil fruit. Instead, he pushed his haki to the highest level. His haki can create real physical impact. It can even break through defense. He can also use observation killing, taking away an enemy's chance to see the future. When he faced Admiral Green Bull, his conqueror's haki was so strong that it seemed to suppress the enemy's will to use his power. Shanks' swordsmanship is just as terrifying. With one divine departure, he took down Kid, a pirate with a 3 billion berry bounty. The stronger Loki looks, the deeper Shanks' power feels. He has no devil fruit, he has no giant bloodline, but with haki and swordsmanship alone, he still stands at the top of the world. So if Luffy wants to surpass Shanks, will he rely on the Nika fruit or on an even higher level of haki?
Why is Shanks the strongest emperor? The latest chapter revealed that Loki, the Prince of Elbaf, was defeated by Shanks 6 years ago and locked away in Elbaf. But Loki has the blood of ancient giants. His body is many times larger than a normal giant's. His 3 types of haki are also top level. He may even have 2 mythical zone powers. His strength could be above current Luffy, and maybe even beyond young Roger. Yet Shanks still managed to bring him down. So what made Shanks able to do it? It comes down to 3 things: supreme haki, top-tier swordsmanship, and the heart of a fighter who depends on nothing but himself. After Shanks lost his arm, his haki only became stronger. He trained it to an extreme level. His power can create real physical pressure. He can also use observation killing. With one move, he can take away an enemy's chance to see the future. And in Wano, when he faced Green Bull, Shanks' conqueror's haki was so strong that it seemed to shut down a devil fruit user's will to fight. His swordsmanship was also shown clearly when Kid challenged him after Kid and Law defeated Big Mom. Kid had the same 3 billion berry bounty as Luffy, but Shanks ended the fight with one divine departure. That moment proved how terrifying his attack power really is. And the reason Oda made Loki look so powerful may be simple. It was to build up Shanks even more. Loki's strength comes from his fruit, his weapon, and his natural talent, but Shanks' strength comes from himself. So do you think Shanks, with power like this, will become Luffy's final opponent?
Why could Shanks be the final boss? In the Elbaf arc, once Emu made a move, that mystery started to fade. The latest chapter also confirms that Emu and Joy Boy were once friends. That means Emu may not be pure evil. There is still room for redemption. And Blackbeard does not feel like the final boss either. He has no Conqueror's Haki, and his pressure still feels limited. But Shanks keeps becoming harder to read. 15 years ago, Shanks returned to the Holy Land. He stole the Nika fruit, but Luffy ate it by mistake. To save Luffy, Shanks sacrificed one arm, and that may have been part of his plan. Losing his left arm helped him break away from Emu's control. It also helped him gain Luffy's trust. From there, Luffy was pushed onto the path of becoming king of the pirates. After that, Shanks stayed hidden. Only after Luffy awakened Nika and defeated Kaido did Shanks finally say he would join the race for the One Piece. To him, the time had come. When Roger returned from Laugh Tale, he told Shanks the timing was not right. That means only the person who inherits Joy Boy's will can unlock the real treasure. Shanks has been waiting for that moment. Luffy once said he would take down every emperor, including Shanks, and Oda still needs a moment where Luffy returns the Straw Hat, so making Shanks the final boss fits perfectly. The story began with Shanks guiding Luffy. It could end with Luffy defeating Shanks. That kind of full circle ending would hit fans hard. So, do you think the Shanks we see now is still hiding his real power?
Why didn't Shanks stop Yasopp from blowing up Barto's ship? As Shanks once said, his crew has one clear weakness among the 4 emperors. His core officers are all elite fighters, and Shanks himself has top-tier Haki in all 3 forms, plus terrifying swordsmanship. But one person being strong does not mean the whole group is strong. The allied fleets under Shanks' flag depend heavily on the Red Hair Pirates' protection. In the New World, where strength decides survival, these allies can easily become a burden for him. Compared with other emperor crews, Shanks' overall force is not as solid. Buggy's Cross Guild has many dangerous fighters who escaped from Impel Down. Some of them may even be stronger than Buggy himself. Blackbeard's fleet is full of pirates from across the seas. Even the mysterious Gin has joined his side. And Luffy's Grand Fleet, though smaller in number, is made of trained fighters who should not be ignored. That is why Shanks had to be so strict. Whether it was Barto taking his territory and burning his flag, or Kid suddenly attacking, Shanks gave no soft answer. Because if Barto or Kid walked away too easily, they might come back later and threaten the people under his flag. So Shanks did not stop Yasopp. That shot was not only revenge, it was a warning to the entire sea. If you attack the people Shanks protects, there will be a price. But this also exposes Shanks' biggest weakness. His strong need to protect his allies could be used against him, and a dangerous planner like Blackbeard may turn that weakness into an opening. So do you think the Red Hair Pirates' final battle will be against the Blackbeard Pirates?